Afternoon everyone, and welcome to another allotment day. It's Friday afternoon, the 24th of February, a day after Storm Doris passed through, and we've escaped the worst of it. We had an old fence blow down, but it needed replacing anyway. So it's lovely now. It's a really lovely afternoon. Birds are whistling, slight breeze, and I'm just about to plant my first potatoes in pots for this year. I'm about a week later than last year, but I think it's time now to make a start. I'm actually perched atop the telegraph pole. It's a little bit precarious where I'm sat, but it gives us a nice view over the entire plot. You can see all the way down to where the compost bins are by the bean frame at the bottom there. The rain and the wind have done all the hard work and washed the paths for me, so there's not really a great deal to do. The ground's really quite soft. It's too early to put anything in the ground, so we'll get on with the potatoes. Catch you in a minute. Just before I go in the greenhouse, I'll just let you have a quick look at the perimeter fencing now on the new no-dig allotment. It's all been painted. Took a while, took about a day and a half, probably 2 days if you count the beds. And I've also given the barn a coat as well, a quick coat. I was in the mood, so I thought I'd get a coat on. So we're just about ready to go now on the no-dig allotment. I've got to put the ingredients in the last of the larger raised beds, and I want to put manure all the way down the boundary here as well, so I can plant that up. But it's just about done, so we'll get into the greenhouse now. In the little greenhouse now, and I'm just about to put some of my seed potatoes into 35 litre pots. I've got 6 pots. I did about a dozen last year. I don't think I'm going to do that many this year. Most of our potatoes go into the ground, but it is nice to have some early potatoes. In the ground, they're ready the end of June to the middle of July normally, or that sort of time. But last year I managed to upend some of the pots. I think they were Charlotte's, the first ones. I think it was the 3rd week in May, the start of the 3rd week in May. We've still got potatoes intact from last year, but it's nice to get some early doors. They always taste really nice as well. I'm starting off by just putting a thin layer of well-rotten manure in the bottom of each pot, and that's just so that they don't dry out, because the roots go to the bottom and the manure tends to stay a little bit wetter. I do that with tomatoes as well. But then I'm using bought compost, and these 4 bags were actually from last year. They were sold, I think, 4 for £10, the 50 litre sacks, and they were sold at a local garden centre. I'll add some fish blood and bone, but that'll be it. I've not got enough of my own compost. I've got 2 compost bins that are about half full, but I need to use that on my tomatoes, so this is really the only compost that I'll be buying in, just enough to fill these pots. So I'll get on with it. Just a quick look at the potatoes, and I think I've got about 5 or 6 varieties. Charlotte, Pentland Javelin, I think I've got Red Duke of York, I've got a couple of main crop, I've got Pink Fir Apple, and I've also got about 3 Sarpo Mira that I took out of the sack at home in the garage. And as you can see, although it's dark in there, they're starting to throw out some sprouts, and they're very brittle, the white sprouts, so it's not really what you want. You want them like this. I think that might be a Pentland Javelin. I think I've got International Kidney as well here. That's the Jersey Royal. So hopefully they'll give us some early potatoes. I'll get them in now. I'll put the manure in first, and then I'll come back to you. So that's the pot started. I've got 6 pots, and I've put about 2 inch of well-rotten horse manure and 2 inch of multi-purpose compost, and it's last year's compost, so it only cost me £10 for 4 bags. That's 200 litres. I've put 3 seed potatoes in each pot. Some people put 2 or 2 layers of 2. I've just put 3 in. I took these out of the bags of seed potatoes I got to put in the ground. I normally put 10 potatoes to a row, and I calculated that I'd got spares, so they've gone in pots. And I've put the varieties on electrical tape on the front like Muddy Boots. Good man, Muddy Boots, full of good ideas. Tour guide, takes you on trips, and a bit of rat catching on the side. Good man. So that's a good idea. Simple, effective. All I'm going to do now is fill up the pots to about 2 inches from the top with the remainder of the multi-purpose compost, and you can see in the barrow outside I've got a tub of organic fish blood and bone, and I'll mix maybe 2 handfuls into the compost for each pot, and that's it. I don't think they need to be watered just yet because they're quite moist, and they'll be on the way, so I'll fill them up now. Mixing the multi-purpose compost and the fish blood and bone in a wheelbarrow with a spade makes it a lot easier than doing it by hand in each individual pot. 1.5 bags of compost there, 6 big handfuls of fish blood and bone, and then I'll probably do the same again with the other 2 bags, and that should fill up the pots. So that's the first seed potatoes of 2017 planted in pots. 6 35 litre pots, 6 different varieties, mostly early potatoes but a couple of main crop as well. I've used 3 of the 4 50 litre sacks, so that's 150 litres of multi-purpose compost and about 40 litres of wild rotten manure. Some people fill them halfway and then add compost as the growth comes through, emulating earthing up. I just fill them pretty much to the top. I've not watered them because the sacks of compost had actually been outside, so they were quite cold and moist, so I'm going to leave them until the next warm day, and then I'll probably water them, so I'll allow the pots to warm up a little bit. Once they're watered they will settle a couple of inch, and then I'll just top dress them again, maybe in 4 or 5 weeks time when all the shoots come through. So that's the first seed potatoes planted on my allotment this year. Hi again, late afternoon on Saturday the 25th of February. Weather's not been very nice today, so I decided to do a little bit of work in the greenhouses. I've washed this one down inside with Jay's fluid. You can see that the floor's quite wet. I sprayed it with a little hand sprayer, mixed Jay's fluid with water, allowed it to dry, and then I washed it off and with a squidgy, just like you would if you were cleaning your own windows. You can see the outsides are still streaky where the Jay's fluid's run down between the panes, so that can be done any time, the outside. But now I've got it clean inside, I'm able to bring in one of my trestle tables. I'll move inside now because it's getting quite windy, and I've covered it with some of the black plastic that I bought, the waterproof membrane. It's quite thick, thicker than the stuff that I had on last year. It should last for years, and I had an offcut from when I cut the plastic for the beds on the no-dig allotment, so because it's ply underneath, and as you can see I didn't want that to delaminate, so I've covered it up. And I've brought some of the things from the big greenhouse in here. I've brought in the broad beans, which are just starting to poke the heads through. I've got some sweet peas here, and 1 or 2 they've come through. These were the free seeds, the sweet pea and a few others, alpine strawberries, Bedfordshire onion, that came with the Kitchen Garden magazine, so I just thought I'd bang them in and see how they fared. But I brought the stuff in from the big greenhouse so that tomorrow on Sunday hopefully I'll be able to Jay's fluid the inside of that one as well. And this is some of the salad leaf, the winter salad leaf that I popped in some 15 litre pots. coming through. I'll just allow that to grow. It'll get a bit leggy, but I've done it before. I did it last year, and it was just full over the top with leaf, and you just cut it and it'll come again. You maybe get 2 cuts off each pot, which is nice early in the season. So that's the little greenhouse clean. I'll just put the potatoes down here that I did the other day. So we'll just go to the big greenhouse now, and I'll show you what I'm doing in there. Back in the big greenhouse, I've just decided to sow a few beetroot, and what I'm going to do is what Charles Dowding does. I've got some cell trays here. I've got 3. There are 9 in each. That's 27, and in each hole I've just dibbed in with my finger 1 inch deep. I've put 3 beetroot seed, and again these were the free beetroot that came with the magazine. You can see it says there at the bottom, Kitchen Garden magazine. When you get these free packets, they're not full of seed. You only get probably half or a third of what you would do if you bought them at the garden centre. But what I'm going to do, as I say, is what Charles does, and he just allows them to grow on in the modules and then plants them out. Then you've got a little group of 3, and what tends to happen is one will get big and you'll take that out, and then the other ones will grow on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in clumps of maybe 3, so there'll be like 9 plants because there are 3 in each, and I'll put them in little clumps on the border of the no-dig allotment, because all around the edge at the bottom where it meets the boundary, I'm going to have about a 4 or 5 foot border, which I'm covering with manure and then spent compost, maybe soil. I'll dig a little planting hole, put a bit of compost in, and I'll plant these in. I'm going to put some kale in there as well, and some purple sprouting broccoli, and some onions as well, the Bedfordshire onions that I've got in the little greenhouse. So the idea is, obviously the soil in that border won't be brilliant, because it'll be a mixture of probably 6 to 9 month old rotten manure, a bit of soil, a bit of spent compost. It'll not be brilliant in the first year, but the kind of things that I'm putting in there, they should be okay. So I'm going to put squash and pumpkin in as well to suppress any weed growth. So that's the plan. So the first beetroot are sown. Still too cold to do it outside. I'll probably be about 2 weeks, middle of March, before I put anything in the ground. But that's a little bit of sowing done, just to steal a march on spring. Okay, catch you later. Afternoon everyone. It's Wednesday the 1st of March, and guess what? The sun's paid us a visit, but I don't think it's going to stay very long. It's nice though. A light breeze, but really lovely afternoon. Came down after work, had an early finish, and I finished levelling off the manure, mulch and straw mulch here on the fruit part of the 4th allotment, and that's about me done. I think I'm just going to sit down and enjoy 10 minutes in the sun. So wherever you are, I hope the sun's shining on you. Enjoy the rest of the week and the weekend to come, and I'll catch you later. That's it for this update. Take care. Bye.